Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Chatterbox. Oh, I hope everyone had a great week. I'm here sharing. Today we're going to talk about words, right? And the weight that they hold and the gravity that they have and what they can do for us. But first I want to backtrack, right? Hi, my name's Tyler. What is this, right? This is sparked off of a moment I had while I was sitting in my local coffee shop. And I saw an individual with a book that I had in college, and I still have it. I don't have it with me here in the city. It's in storage. But it's called The Artist's Way. And this book, right, is primarily used to help artists get through their blocks, their creative blocks. And one of the things in my acting class, right, because I have the wonderful degree of theater performance and a minor in music. Woohoo! So I can tell a damn good story. And so, right, one of the things that our professor was having us do was journal prompting. And at that point, I was also having very limited beliefs in the things that I could conquer, right? And so I decided to flip the idea of journal prompting on its head and do video diary. So this is semi-video diary / finding my own platform to talk on, right? Because I can be long-winded. Sometimes the video lengths of my Instagram reels and TikTok videos, right? I don't feel like I can say everything I have, nor do I feel like I have, right? Those platforms, people may or may not have the bandwidth to sit for a whole length YouTube video. So that is partially what this is that it's me processing the things that I have learned, that I've gone through. But the goal is also this, right? It's that I want to create a platform with tarot, with motivational coaching, with the idea of we learn together. We learn together to get through these things. And what has taken me a little bit of time to learn, I hope that you catch on to it faster than I did, because I always want people to succeed. That's been some of the careers that I have gone through, right? I've gone through a lot of things. I've been a resident assistant in a freshman dorm building. My whole goal, this is wobbling in the background and driving me nuts. I was a resident assistant in a freshman dorm building. My goal was to help freshmen navigate this first year away from home, away from mom and dad. How do I adult, right? How do I do college, right? I have been crew supervisors, right? With this past holiday job that I just did, putting up Christmas decorations here in New York City. It was my responsibility to get the team from point A to point B, making sure that the client was happy, right? It's all been about client satisfaction and helping people become the best people that they are, right? The goal is to help people better, right? Be better people, be better humans, right? However you want to phrase it, right? So that's the goal with all of this, along with me wanting to help myself and help others take up space in the world. So that's a little backstory, backbone, some foundations on what this platform for me is. You can listen to me, you can pass it off, you can take it as a grain of salt, but for me, this is about me helping you, helping me kind of idea, right? This is This is for the collective. But whether or not you choose to listen, well, that, my friends, is on you. So we're talking about words, right? And it's this notion that all of this kind of manifesting, spiritualness, tarot, thought change, word change, it's new, right? It is so new to me. And it is growing quickly for me. And it's something I can latch onto because I have had more revelations and understanding and light bulb moments and eureka, aha moments with being a spiritual practitioner, right, than I had ever had while growing up in the Protestant church, right? It has been crazy to me that this is where I am finding my foothold, right? So one of the things that I started out was with tarot, which is also with a book recommendation called Kitchen Table Magic by Melissa Sinova. And within the first few chapters, I get called out. Point blank called out. With the limiting notion belief of the phrase, "This is why we can't have nice things." That is actually the first time I think I have said it in a year. Out loud. But the reason I'm saying it out loud is for educational purposes. So, that used to be my fail-safe phrase. And it wasn't until I was reading that book you are acknowledging something, right? You are putting out into the universe, to God, to your creator, to the ether, the big void, whatever you believe in, right? You're saying the words, "This is why I, or we, don't deserve nice things." You're saying you don't want it. You're putting that out there and saying you don't want it. So realize that the things you say, the universe is always listening. So when you say things like that, you are just putting it out there for the universe to take note and say, oh, you don't want abundance. You don't want good things. You don't want happiness, joy, prosperity, financial freedom. Like, by saying this, right? And looking back, right? When I was still living at home with my mom, during this very difficult time, while living at home, my parents were going through a divorce. And I distinctly remember this because my mom gets up after having our lovely ice cream before bed, as we always did, and she drops, and I believe the bowl broke. And me making humor out of bad situations, because that's what I was always used to doing, is trying to make light of a not so great scenario, right? The performative side of me, woo, right? I said out loud, "This is why we can't have nice things." And when my mom completely missed the joke, right? She took it as serious. I was joking. But at the same time, right, my joke during the time when my mom is going through a divorce is putting out into the universe saying, yeah, we're stuck in this situation and we don't deserve nice things, right? How limiting, and how just when you realize the negative thoughts, words, and actions you have and you continue to put them out there, how much they just keep cycling back, and How long are you going to last in a cycle like that before you say enough is enough with this, right? That same evening, before we were going to bed, my boyfriend, now husband, right, looks at me and goes, I think your mom really thinks that you believe we don't deserve nice things because of what you said. I get up quickly and I go talk to my mom because I was like, I was joking. And my mom, in all sincerity, took it as me believing that we didn't deserve nice things, which wasn't the case, right? So to start your journey, realize, take stock and take pause in the things you say every day, right? So why words, right? Why words? Why the weight of things in which we say? I had a lovely individual on one of my 2 lives that I do. I do lives on Tuesday nights and on Wednesday nights over on my Instagram channel. Because I don't have enough followers yet. Actually, let's pause, right? I will eventually, or see, even eventually, and I don't, right? Real time catching myself. I have to go live over on Instagram because the follower count over on my TikTok is not high enough yet for me to have a live over on TikTok. But I will. That is a goal for 2024. But I go live right now managing one platform over on Instagram. And I had a lovely individual who asked me about affirmations. And I've got my handy dandy little iPad notebook here, which the iPad is catching up to the Wi-Fi. Here we go. So asked me about affirmations, right? And got my definitions from Webster's Dictionary. Affirmations, or to affirm something, means to validate, confirm, to state positively, to assert something such as a judgment or a decree as valid. And lastly, to show or express a strong belief in a dedication to something such as an important idea. So, right, the things that we say, right? Our words, our sentences, your prayers, your songs that you sing, right? The things that we choose to put out there are things that we are decreeing and declaring as truth. So pulling it back to that phrase of, this is why we can't have nice things. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I don't have the right connections, credentials, right? These I can'ts or I don't, or any sort of negative limiting factor that we put out there just in a way is an affirmation. So this individual asked me about affirmations, and I didn't have the clarity or the understanding of what the dictionary definition of what an affirmation is. But here's the thing, right? I flipped the narrative on that statement of, this is why we can't have nice things, or this is why I can't have nice things. I now start every morning with my coffee, right? And say into my coffee a myriad of different things, but one of the things I always say is, I do deserve nice things. Flip it. Try to find different ways to change the things you say to be more positive, and asking the universe to take stock and say, yeah, I actually do deserve that happiness, that abundance, that joy, that new job promotion, right? When you ask it of the universe, it's giving it the opportunity to give it back to you, right? I also dove into different things. Like, I broke things down, right? So I also wanted to look at what's a sentence, right? Because we're talking about words. So we string things together. This is already a video where I am putting out there positivity, good words, because I want things to come to you and to come to me. So, right? A sentence is a clause or phrase or a group of clauses or phrases forming a syntactic unit which express an assertion, a question, a command, a wish, an explanation, or a performance of action. And in speaking, these distinguished by characteristic patterns of stress, pitch, and pauses. So it's a wish. It's the energy. The sentence is the energy that you give to the manifestations that you want, right? It's that old kind of funny joke like, well, what happens when you put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, right? You could mess things up by the littlest thing of saying, and I can't. I don't know, right? If you're putting those negatives out there, right? And I can't is, I want to learn that. I'll learn that. I'm going to be strong at this, right? It's this turning things on its head, right? So in this world, right, having grown up in a Protestant church, right, I remember because I was also on the praise and worship team at church as well. So like, give me an opportunity to perform and I will find a way to perform. So yes, of course, I was a part of the church choirs, the youth groups, all of that stuff. And we were praying at either the beginning or the close of our rehearsal that day. And our pastor happened to be there, and she is a lovely human being. And we were talking about music, and little old intuitive me, even looking back at that now, has had great wisdom that comes out. And I said that prayer, because that's what it was at the time that I was doing, prayer is singing without music. Prayer is singing without music. Meditation is prayer without music. Spells are prayers without music. The things that we do, that we put out there into the universe, is a form of prayer in my mind without music. And so, right? So what is a spell, right? Is one where I went next, right? Well, a spell is spoken word or form of words held to have magic power or strong compelling influence or attraction, right? So we're talking law of attraction here as well. The things we put out, we hope to come back to us. But then what is prayer? It's an address, such as a petition to God or a God, in words or thoughts, or an earnest request or a wish. So a wish, tying back into a sentence, right? These things, we all talk about the same thing, right? A sentence, a wish, a prayer, an affirmation, these things that we have labeled, right, are all pointing us towards the same thing when we want to make sure that our words have weight and have power to what we put out. So, take the time to rephrase the things you are saying. Take pause and try to find a phrase that you say all the time. If it is negative, stop saying it or change it and put it on its head. If you need some affirmations, here are a few of the ones that I love to use. The universe is amazing, and so am I. I do deserve nice things. What's the best that can happen? I'm the motherfucking one. Thanks, Laguna Blue. Love that one. Yes, those are all the ones on the list that I have. There are so many out there. Find the one that sticks to you, that resonates with you, and use it. Let's close this video out with a quick little card pull to set everyone off on this new adventure of speaking differently. How should we look about this next week with trying to focus on speaking positively? It's the Ace of Cups. The way that we speak this week is going to unlock new emotional feelings for us, right? When you change your thoughts, you change your emotions. And when you change your emotions, you can start tearing down the walls that we have built up for ourselves that are blocking you from achieving the successes in your life that you want. So, when you start feeling new emotional changes, drink from the cup. Friends, I love you. Remember to take up space in your life. And as always, remember to breathe. Have a great day.